Good afternoon, children. In the previous class, we have discussed about the meaning of history and the importance or significance of history, the sources of history, the classification of the sources. These are all the important points we are discussing in the previous class. What is history? The history is the systematic presentation of past events. And after that, we are discussing the significance or importance of history and sources. The sources to be a particular and authentic about history. The sources are majorly divided into two types. One is the literary sources and archaeological sources. The literary sources are further divided into two types. One is the native literature and the foreign literature. So especially first the written literature. The sources are divided into majorly the literature is further divided into two types. One is the oral literature and written literature. The written literature is further divided into two types. One is the native literature and foreign literature. But the oral literature means we easily transfer the information or some of the events, historical events from one generation to next generation through the oral form, that is called as oral literature, like stories, ballads and lavanis, myths, legends. These all came under the oral literature. Next, the archaeological sources. Archaeology is one of the main branch of social science. What are archaeological sources? Archaeological sources means the physical remains or ruins of the things used in the first or constructed structures are called as archaeological sources. For example, monuments, inscriptions, coins, and some of the pieces of gods, other artifacts like the jewels used by our ancestors, the idols of the gods, they are all called as beds, and some of the important things are called as archaeological sources. But in this class, we have discussed about the contributions by the Europeans in the construction of Indian history. What are the important contributions given by the Europeans in the construction of Indian history? ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ನಾವು ಇಂದಿನ ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಧಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ವಿಧಗಳು, ಸೊ ಆ ವಿಧಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಓರಲ್ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯವನ್ನು ರಚಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶದ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲರ್ಸ್ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವರು ರಚಿಸಿದಂಥ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ವಿದೇಶಿ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಆರ್ಕಿಯಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ತನಾಧಾರಗಳು ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಾಣ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅರಮನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಶಿಲಾಶಾಸನಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಲವು ಹಿಂದೆ ಬಳಸ್ತಿದ್ದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೂರ್ವಿಕರು ಬಳಸ್ತಿದ್ದಂಥ ಒಡವೆಗಳು, ಇವುಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಆರ್ಕಿಯಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ತನಾಧಾರಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ನರು ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ರಚನೆಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳು ಏನೇನು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ. ದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ದ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ದ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ಸ್. Some of the important Europeans in the 16th, they arrived to India in 16th century. They are called as Jesus Christ. Means in the year of 1534, Ignatius Loyola established the Christian society. Here, some of the main members were take congregation in Catholic Church. They have become a members of Jesus Christ or followers of Jesus Christ were called as Jesus Christ. They arrived to India in 16th century. They undertook the systematic study to understand the lifestyle of Indians. Especially they are the followers of Jesus Christ. They arrived to India for the purpose to spread the Christian religion in India. After when they arrived to India in the 16th century, they undertook the systematic study to understand the lifestyle of Indians. One of the most important European traveler who visited to India, he was Heinrich Roth. Heinrich Roth. Heinrich Roth was arrived to India and he settled in Agra. He translated Sanskrit grammar into Latin language about 350 years ago. Some of the Europeans, they are arrived to India in the 16th century. They undertook the systematic study to understand the lifestyle of Indians. The Heinrich Roth was the most important European. He arrived to India and settled in Agra. He translated Sanskrit grammar into Latin language about 350 years ago. A century later, the father Codex identified there are some similarities between the Sanskrit and many European languages. Students, I should be proud to say our Sanskrit language, our ancient language Sanskrit has some similarities with other European languages. Means the Sanskrit is the ancient language of Indians. The Latin is the ancient language of Europeans. So the Codex identifies some similarities there between the Sanskrit and other many European languages. After that, some of the British officers, they arrived to India during the rule of British East India Company. They tried to understand the Indians' lifestyle, history, values, customs, traditions, beliefs and laws of the Indians to strengthen their trade relationship. The main intention of the British officers was to strengthen their trade relationship with India. So they are trying to understand the lifestyle of Indians. As a result, some of the British officers attracted by the Indian literature and culture. So many great Indian or Kannada literary works like Manusmriti, Bhagavad Gita were translated into English. And after that, the another greatest person, Sir William Jones. Sir William Jones. Sir William Jones. So when some of the British officers were arrived to here, they are attracted by the Indian history and culture. As a result, some of the important great literary works like Manusmriti, Bhagavad Gita and great literary works were translated into English. And another greatest European traveler or a person, great historian, Indologist and Orientalist who visited to India. He was Sir William Jones. He arrived to India as a judge of Supreme Court in Bengal. He arrived to India as a judge of Supreme Court in Bengal. And he established the society called Asiatic Society. He established the society called Asiatic Society in 1784 CE. 1784 CE in Calcutta. Children, you know very well, the Calcutta is the main trading center of British. Finally, Sir William Jones established Asiatic Society in 1784 CE. Sir William Jones was contributed immensely to the study of Indology. What is Indology? Indology is a branch. It's a branch of science or branch of knowledge to study the culture and history of India. Indology is a branch of science to study the history and culture of India. So totally Sir William Jones was one of the important Indologist, Orientalist and also a historian. He came to India as a judge of Supreme Court in Bengal. After, in the year of 1784 CE, he established the society called Asiatic Society. Commonly, the William Jones was a multilingual expert. What is meant by multilingual means? He had It's one of the famous drama written by Kalidasa. Sir William Jones was a multilingual expert. As a result, he translated the great works like Gita Govinda, Manava Dharma Shastra, and Kalidasa Shakuntala from Sanskrit to English. So, he contributed to the study of Indology. Totally, he was one of the most important European. He was studied the Indology. Some of the important works translated into English. After another greatest person, Max Muller. Max Muller was a German scholar. He was a German scholar who visited to India. Especially some of the important like Max Muller. He was a German scholar. He wrote one of the most important English work. He wrote an English work called The Sacred Book of East. The Sacred Book of East was most important book written by Max Muller. He was a German scholar in 50 volumes. He wrote the Sacred Book of East in 50 volumes, means 50 books. So another great historian from Scotland, James Mill. He was a historian from Scotland. He wrote one of the most important book, The History of India. History of India in 6 volumes. So totally the Max Muller and also James Mill were the important historians and some important scholars. He wrote, the Max Muller was a scholar of German. He wrote the Sacred Book of East in 50 volumes. The James Mill was a historian from Scotland. He wrote the Book of History of India in 6 volumes. But these historians never visited to India. They are staying in their country, but they are studied the Indian culture and also history during that time. Totally, who are the important Europeans? They gave some of the constitutions in the construction of Indian history. The Henry Roth, who translated the Sanskrit grammar into Latin. The Codex, he identified some similarities there between Sanskrit and also other European languages. And after that, Sir William Jones, he established Asiatic Society in 1784 CE in Calcutta. He especially was a multilingual expert, so he translated the great works like Gita Govinda, Manava Dharma Shastra and Kalidasa Shakuntala from Sanskrit to English. And after that, another greatest historians like Max Muller, he was a Orientalist. Orientalist means the people, those who are stayed, they are visited to other countries, they are interested to study the history, culture and some of the customs of other countries. They are called as a Orientalist. Especially was a Orientalist. He arrived, he never visited to India, but he wrote one of the important English work, The Sacred Book of East in 50 volumes. Another great person, James Mill, he was a historian from Scotland. He wrote the History of India in 6 volumes. So next we are discussed about another great person. He was a French missionary, was Abbe Dubois. Abbe Dubois, he was a French missionary. Missionary means especially a person who went to foreign countries to spread the religion. So he was called as missionary. Abbe Dubois was a French missionary. Abbe Dubois was a French missionary. He arrived and settled in Ganjam near Srirangapatna. He arrived to India and settled in Ganjam near Srirangapatna. You know very well, children, Srirangapatna is the historical place, belongs to the Mysore kingdom. The Srirangapatna river Here, when Awadh was visited to India, he arrived to India, he settled Ganjam near Srirangapatna. And he lived as a sage by adapting local culture and customs. It's very interesting matter, children. He was a foreign person, he was a Western person, but he did not adapt the Western culture. He lived as a sage by adapting local culture and customs. So, he called as a Dodda Swami by the local people. Dodda Swami means senior Swami. The people called him as a Dodda Swami. He wrote Hindu manners, customs and ceremonies. He wrote Hindu manners, customs and ceremonies. After he presented Indian customs, values, thoughts, festivals, Varnashrama system in his work. Varna means here the society divided on the occupational basis. So that is called as Varnashrama system. He presented in his work. He lived here for 24 years and returned to France. Awadh was a French missionary. He arrived to India, settled in Ganjam near Srirangapatna. He lived as a sage by adapting local culture and customs. So he called as Dodda Swami by the local people. He wrote Hindu manners, customs and ceremonies. He presented Indian culture, traditions, thoughts, festivals and Varnashrama system in his work. He lived here for 24 years and returned to France. After the Awadh was some of the important Europeans, so like which all means the Helping Stone, Coles, Brooke, Eliot, Dawson and Cunningham. They are the important European historians. They are introduced to the different stages of history. They are introduced to the different stages of Indian history like Coles, Brooke, Elphinstone, Eliot, Cunningham and Dawson. They were introduced to the different stages of history. Apart from these historians, some other important historians like Francis Buchanan, Paul Weitz, Mackenzie, Francis Buchanan, Paul Weitz, Mackenzie, P.L. Rife and Fleet. But the other European historians, they are stored, recorded or preserved the important monuments, inscriptions, manuscripts, chronicles, testimonies and contemporary events to reconstruct the Karnataka history. So totally the Europeans were completely showed one of the scientific way to study the Indian history or culture. That means the Europeans were found out or they are showed one of the most important systematic and scientific way to reconstruct or understand the Indian history and also culture. So that's why they gave some of the important contributions to the construction of Indian history. Totally in this class we are discussed about what are the important contributions given by the Europeans in the construction of Indian history. I think you are understand, children. Once I repeat, ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಈ ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರು ಆ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ನರು ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ರಚನೆಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳೇನು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮುಲ್ಲರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಮಿತ್, ವಿಲಿಯಂ ಜೋನ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋರಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ವಿಲಿಯಂ ಜೋನ್ಸ್ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇವರು 784ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಏಷಿಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕಟ್ತಾರೆ. ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದು ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಇನ್ ಬೆಂಗಾಲ್. ಬೆಂಗಾಲ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರಾಗಿ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ದ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನ 50 ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಂತರ ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಮಿಲ್, ಇವರು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಕಾಟ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ನ ಒಬ್ಬ ಇತಿಹಾಸಕಾರರು. ಇವರು ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನ 6 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಂತರ ಬಂದಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದಂತ ಫ್ರೆಂಚ್ ನ ಪ್ರವರ್ತಕ, ಧರ್ಮ ಪ್ರವರ್ತಕ ಅಬೆ ಡುವಾಯ್ಸ್. ಈತ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಶ್ರೀರಂಗಪಟ್ಟಣದ ಬಳಿ ಇರುವ ಗಂಜಾಂ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಇವರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಒಂದು ಇವರು ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಯಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಬೈ ಅಡ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಒಂದು ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯವನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯ ಜನರು ಅವರನ್ನ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ದ ಅಬೆ ಡುವಾಯ್ಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ರೋಟ್ ಇಂಡೋ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ಸ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆರೆಮನೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಬರೆದ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತದ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ನಡವಳಿಕೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ವರ್ಣಾಶ್ರಮ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ 24 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಇದ್ದು ನಂತರ ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ lived here for 24 years and returned to France. After some of the, apart from this Europeans, some of the other Europeans like Elphinstone, Brooke, Coles and Drawson, Eliot and Cunningham, they were present at the different stages of history. ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ವಿವಿಧ ಹಂತಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಇತಿಹಾಸಕಾರರು ನಮಗೆ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ ಬೊಕ್ಯಾನೋ, ಮೆಕಾನ್ಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಲ್ ವೈಟ್ಸ್, ಹಾರೆಲ್ ಬಿಯರ್ ರೈಸ್, they are the other historians. They are preserved or recorded the chronicles, testimonies, manuscripts and some of the inscriptions, contemporary events to reconstruction of Karnataka history. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಹಲವಾರು ಆಧಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಇವರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಶಾಸನಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತ ಕೆಲವು ದಾಖಲೆಗಳನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಂಗ್ರಹಿಸಿ ರಕ್ಷಿಸಿ ಇಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ನರು ಕೂಡ ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ರಚನೆಗೆ ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಟೋಟಲಿ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ we are discussed what are the important contributions given by the Europeans in the construction of Indian history. Thanks for listening, I think, student. So in this class we are also discussed about some of the questions in first chapter. So which are the main questions are there in your first chapter, right? It's in your first chapter. The first one, fill in the blanks here. The father of history is Herodotus. The father of history is Herodotus. And the second one, who established the Asiatic Society? Sir William Jones. He was a Indologist. Sir William Jones. Sir William Jones established the Asiatic Society in 1784 CE in Calcutta. So what is history? History is the systematic presentation of past events. Who is the father of history? To which country does he belongs to? Herodotus of Greece is the father of, the Herodotus is the father of history. He belongs to Greece. Why there cannot be a history without sources? The sources are the historical evidences to be particular and authentic account about history. So without the sources, the history becomes a story. So there cannot be a history without the sources. List the historical sources. The historical sources can be majorly divided into two types. So one is the literature, the literary sources and archaeological sources. The literary sources further divided into two types. One is the written literature and oral literature. The written literature further divided into two types. One is native literature and foreign literature. The oral sources are stories, ballads, legends, myths, lavanies. They are all came under the oral sources. The archaeological sources means the physical remains and ruins used in the first or constructed structures are called as archaeological sources. Coins, monuments, inscriptions, the pieces of the forts, the idols of the god, and of these other artifacts were called as archaeological sources. So what are archaeological sources? The archaeological sources means the physical remains and ruins used in the first or constructed structures are called as archaeological sources. Name the historian who studied Indology. Especially Sir William Jones was the historian who studied Indology. And so here the math the following. Write a note on Abba Dubais. Abba Dubais was a French missionary. He arrived to India, settled in Gajjam near Srirangapatna. He lived as a sage by adapting local customs and traditions. He wrote Indo-manners, customs and ceremonies, and after he presented Indian customs, thoughts, values, festivals and Varnashrama system in his work. He called as Dodaswami by local people. He lived here for 24 years and returned to France. So and after that, man the following: the Kalidasa wrote Shakuntala, Max Muller, the Sacred Book of the East, the James Mill, History of India, William Jones, the Asiatic Society. So choose the correct answer for the following children. I think you are understand. And here one more question is there. It's a discussion question. Why do we need history? Means here we mention what are the significance of history or uses of history. So in the previous